All right, let's talk about the one thing every business absolutely needs to survive and to thrive: finance. We're going to break down where the money comes from to turn a great idea into a real, living, breathing business. Let's jump right in.
So let's start with a dream, right? Imagine you've always wanted to open a small corner bakery. You know, the kind that's famous for its absolutely incredible sourdough bread. You've got the passion, the secret recipes, even the perfect name picked out. But there's always that one big question hanging in the air.
And that's the thing, isn't it? Every great idea, whether it's that cozy little bakery or the next world-changing tech startup, needs one critical ingredient to even get off the ground: money. Cold, hard cash. So where do you get it?
Let's kick things off with a big why. Why does every single business need money? You hear people call it the lifeblood of a business, and you know what? They're not wrong.
I mean, to put it simply, finance is just the money that makes everything else happen. It's the fuel in the tank. It pays for the flour and that giant fancy oven for our bakery, and it's what you use to pay your very first employee.
And you need this stuff at every single stage of the game. First, you need it for all those startup costs, getting the equipment and supplies. Then, you need it for the day-to-day grind, paying rent, keeping the lights on, making payroll. And if you're successful, well, then you're going to need even more for the big, ambitious plans, like opening a second shop or creating a whole new line of pastries.
Okay, so where's the first place you look for that cash? Well, a lot of the time, it comes from inside the business itself. We call this internal finance.
This is basically money that you're generating without having to go hat in hand to a bank or an outside investor. It's all about using what you or the business already has locked away.
First up, your own personal savings. Now, this one's a classic trade-off. On the plus side, it's fast, there's no interest to pay back, and you keep 100% control of your baby. But the downside is huge. You're totally limited by what you have in the bank, and you are putting your own financial security right on the line. This is the ultimate bet-on-yourself move.
Okay, let's fast forward a year. Our bakery is a hit. It's actually making money. Now it can start reinvesting its own profits. This is a fantastic option. It's cheap, it's flexible, and it's a great sign of a healthy business. The only catch? Well, you have to have been profitable in the first place, and it might not be a big enough pile of cash for a major expansion.
And here's another internal source: just selling stuff the business owns but doesn't really need anymore. Maybe our bakery upgraded its little delivery van. Well, you could sell the old one. It's a great way to get a quick injection of cash without taking on debt. You just have to be really careful you're not selling off something you'll wish you had later.
All right, things are going great. The bakery is a massive hit. But the owner's savings are tapped out, and that won't cover opening a second location across town. So it's time to look outside the business for something we call external finance.
Now, once you start looking outside the business, things get really interesting. See, external finance isn't all the same. It really splits into two big categories, and it's all based on how long you need the money for. Are we talking about covering a small gap for a few weeks, or are we talking about funding a huge project that'll take years? So, short-term options. These are your lifesavers for immediate, day-to-day stuff. Imagine a huge, unexpected wedding cake order comes in for the bakery. You could use a bank overdraft to buy all the extra flour and ingredients you need right away. It just helps smooth out those bumps in your cash flow.
Long-term options, on the other hand, are for the big swings, the major strategic plays. A classic bank loan is perfect for something predictable, like buying the building for that second bakery. But if you have a really high-risk, high-reward idea, like franchising the bakery nationwide, you might look for venture capital. These guys don't just give you money. They take a piece of the business and bet on it becoming something huge.
Okay, so you've got all these options on the menu, from your own pocket to big-time venture capitalists. How on earth do you choose the right one for your situation?
Well, it's really a balancing act, isn't it? You got to ask yourself a few key questions. First, why do I even need the money? How much do I actually need? And maybe most importantly, what's it going to cost me, either in interest payments or in how much control of my dream I'm willing to give away to get it?
And honestly, a lot of the time, it all boils down to this one massive trade-off: debt versus equity. With debt, like a loan, you borrow the money, you keep 100% control of your bakery, but you have to pay it back with interest. With equity, you sell a piece of your dream to an investor. You don't have to pay it back, but now you have to share control and profits forever.
So for our last section, let's look at why this choice is so incredibly important, because getting it wrong can literally make or break our little bakery.
And this really lays it all out, right?
There are two possible futures here. Make the right choice, and you set yourself up for financial stability and healthy growth. But make the wrong one, say taking on a loan with crazy high interest, and you could be looking at cash flow nightmares, vanishing profits, and yeah, in the worst case, the end of the business.
So when you think about it, choosing how to fund your idea is so much more than just a financial transaction. You're laying the foundation for the entire future of your business. It's the decision that takes a dream and turns it into a reality. So, what's the right foundation for your big idea?